Good morning, Jess.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I am fabulous.
We're gonna, yeah, we're gonna let some people roll in before we kind of get into it today. How do you like the background I did for 9/11 today?
I love it. I was thinking of that when I was taking the kiddos to school where I was. I was in college. Where were you?
Actually, it was the very first year that I had opened up our own subway, and we had moved to this area about an hour away from where we lived from. So it was scary times. I'll be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we got a couple people in the room,
Yeah.
Eric and Glenn already. Thank you guys. I was gonna say the ladies of FBA are in here.
I said good morning. I know. Look at me. I'm getting used to this whole YouTube thing, right? Yeah. Learning the platform. Yeah. So, yeah. I was in college and I was heading to school. Like I was in my apartment with my girlfriends, and it was a rough day. You know, I didn't go to school. Like we didn't go to class.
It's
good
weird.
Morning.
And it's weird. We got a couple people in here now, guys. We're going to get into the show probably in about 5 or 10 minutes. We're just kind of warming up here, talking about a couple things. And once we get a little bit more people to filter in, we'll kind of get into the meat and bones of the conversation. But, I did the background to honor, remembering 9/11. It's hard to believe already. It's been 18 years.
I know.
I designed this backdrop last night, and the little logo at the top. So thank you. I appreciate it. Stocks and Hedge. Yeah, I haven't been able to watch the market lately just because I have money tied up into stuff going into Amazon. So I still manage my son's account. But hi, Keyline Kisses. Thank you. Eric, thank you for Thank you for stopping in. I just thank everybody for stopping here on 9/11. I actually wanted to do a special episode because I take these trips and do these life adventures. And I wanted to do, but I never made it to, I was in Nashville and traveling. And I was, this past week, I was at an storage unit auction, 41 units the other day. And that took up 2 days.
Wow. Yeah. Awesome.
I want to do a video one day on the Freedom Tower. I've been up there about 5 years ago. Uh-huh. And since I only live an hour and a half away, it's really not, it's just a matter of scheduling to get there. But,
right.
So I mean, like I said, I made this backdrop. So thank you. My name is Patdees. You're at Patdees 72 and channel. And this is Jess Hill. Jess, why don't you introduce yourself and tell them who you are and what you do?
Good morning, Jess Hill, ladies of FBA. Longtime e-commerce seller, full-time Amazon seller, mama 4 in the St. Louis region. And I appreciate Pat bringing me back. I love this weekly show that we're doing.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Actually, we haven't done it for what? This is
2 weeks. Yeah, because I was traveling last week.
Right. Yeah.
Back. We were traveling the week before.
A big TV star in Milwaukee, huh?
Yeah. So did you want me to give you the lowdown? So last month I started contacting women in the media at the advice of one of my admins in the group. And I was reached out by WTMJ Channel 4, the Morning Blend morning show in Milwaukee. So hi, Kim. So last week, Paige, one of my kiddo, and I, we traveled to Milwaukee. We actually got to see my friend Erin in person because we are all friends, but it's hard because you're on the internet, you live far away. And so we flew up to Milwaukee. It's super quick, like 48 minutes from St. Louis. And then in the morning we got up early, did our hair, and went over to the studio. And it was really cool. Like I've never been on TV before, so we just interviewed and talked about e-commerce and empowering women and men in e-commerce to build their e-commerce businesses and really just fulfill their dreams. And so that's what we talked about. It was a quick little segment. It was pretty cool experience. Paige got to, see the back, like workings of a morning show. So there was no live audience, which was nice because
Now, how old is she?
she's 11.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and then we went to the museums and stuff in the afternoon, but it was cool. Like I definitely, and they want me to come back. They want me to come back and show people how to prep items and stuff. So there's all kinds of ideas. So
That's
I'm just
cool.
going to take it one day at a time for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Kim.
It goes so fast. You go there and you're all dressed up, and I watched the interview on Facebook plus the news clip and stuff like that, and it's exciting. It's exciting to see regular people become entrepreneurs and share their story. And now, what was was there something like the good that you took out of it, like you met some new contacts or something that you didn't think was going to happen, but
well, I didn't think any of this would happen, right? So when I started in e-commerce, when I went full-time in 16, I was purely just, I want to be able to stay at home and build a business where I can go and be with my kids when I need to, So on every Thursday I volunteer at Page's school, and then I go to all their sporting events. I am basically like the taxi mom. I'm going camping with Girl Scouts in a couple weeks. So this whole thing, like what we're doing, TV, my group, that is all just a bonus to my life. So, and I really do enjoy reaching out and teaching others how to build their e-commerce platforms. I mean, I love flipping, things on the various platforms. Don't get me wrong. I love to shop. But it's more fulfilling to watch another entrepreneur build something that you helped them build. So I think that was the takeaway, was that I was being a positive influence in our community, just showing people that you can do it. We talked about my sobriety. We talked about, being a mom of 4 kids and like just that you can do it. And so I think that was like, I just want to keep this space a very positive space because I live in abundance and there's plenty to go around.
Yeah, I was I think sharing some of your personal issues is showing that you can overcome certain things and still pick yourself up and be successful. So
Yep.
I was glad that and I knew some of that stuff because me and you have developed a friendship and we talk and stuff like that. But
Yep.
When people make excuses that they can't do it, you prove it wrong every time.
It's crazy, like what has been provided to me, and like I just want to share it with everybody because life is so good. Okay, we got to stop talking or I'm going to cry.
No.
It was just a really cool experience. It was cool that I was able to take Paige with me so she could experience it, and just making new connections in Wisconsin and reaching out to a new audience, and obviously
how far did you have to drive, Jess?
Well, no, we just flew.
Oh.
So with retail arbitrage and online arbitrage, I use my points cards.
Okay.
And Paige is actually free because we have 2 companion passes this year because we've spent so much money. So we actually there's 6 of us. We only paid for 4 tickets when we fly. And then, so I use my points. So I just paid the security, the $11.70 per person. And then we took an Uber, and then I did pay obviously for my hotel. But yeah, so we just flew up there. We just flew, so it was fun.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How now here we are in September. What is going on? And maybe you want to tell us a little bit about last month and what's going on getting ready for fourth quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and this is for any platform. So right now you should be thinking, like when I talk about like what your action items are every week, so I always have people set goals. So we met all of our August goals. We like to send in a minimum of $60,000 in inventory. And I can actually tell you what we sent in. So you cannot control the exact amount you sell, but you can control what you send into the warehouses or what you post on eBay or what you post on other websites, right? You can control that. So I like to track things that I can control. So I can control the fact that we sent in $89,758 worth of retail to the Amazon warehouses before repricer, okay? That cost us cost me $32,730 with a potential profit of $30,569. That was if everything went to the warehouse nice and smooth, everything sold in one day, that would be the profit. But obviously, you're going to be looking, and that's a 93% return on investment. But of course, it'll go up and down because of the repricer. So I just wanted to make sure, our goal is to send in 60,000 every month, and we met it. Great. And then, so what we're talking about in Ladies of FBA and Instagram and everywhere is we are ramping up to Q4. So this is the time to get all your ducks in a row as far as what capital you want, what stores you want to master as far as like obtaining inventory or securing new sources. If maybe you're doing a wholesale model, or maybe you're doing liquidation, or maybe you're going to flea markets and thrift stores. Just get a plan, because October, November, December are huge months. Those are our bread and butter. And then the other thing that we're talking about is meltables. So for Amazon on October 1st, we can finally send meltables again. So as you all know, in the summer, everything melts in those hot, UPS and USPS and FedEx trucks. So Amazon doesn't allow you to send multiple inventory into the warehouses. But on October 1st, it's back. And for anyone that has been, more than a year on Amazon knows, that meltables is fun because people will buy chocolate for the holidays like crazy. So those are kind of the two things, getting your ducks in a row for the next 3 weeks as far as like how you're going to do your funding and what your sources are. And then checking all your replans, and then checking those SKUs that you sold last year, right? So every year you're learning how to better yourself for the next year. And then getting ready for those of us that sell meltables. So meltables is like chocolate, gummy candies, and then gummy vitamins. Those sell really good on Amazon. So those are kind of the things that I've been like touching upon in my group, and we've kind of been just like getting our game plan together.
Yeah. Now, Chris the Goose, he's a friend of mine. He comes on the show. He says they will melt here in Texas on the trucks up until about December.
Right. So, I mean, for me, I feel a little bit safer because most of my stuff goes to Chicago, but that doesn't mean it's not going to get routed across the country. But that's right. When they say, the likelihood of things melting is less between October 1st and April 30th. So I send in, I'm a huge meltables fan. I love selling because people will buy meltables. Well, they'll buy gummy meltables, vitamins the whole time. But like chocolates, Thanksgiving people buy chocolates, Christmas, and then downtime. So it's 3 different holidays that they're going to buy chocolates for. Obviously Halloween, 4, duh, that's the biggest one. So right now I'm sourcing tons of candy, and like I have a goal. I know I'm crazy. I have goals every day of sending in 1,000 units of candy by like the second week of October. So right now I'm sourcing non-meltable candy. And then when it comes to that last week of September, I'm going to be sourcing meltables, because then on October 1st, I can ship it all to the warehouse.
Right. Now, when you said 1,000, I mean, you don't obviously you can't find that all in one store.
Depends. Yeah. So when I say units though, it could be a multi-pack. Right. So I have some things that I do, but I'm only counting it as one unit, right? Right. So I spent $303 on units, on items on Sunday in about an hour at one store. So I could just go to that store and buy, if there's 4 or 5 stores, I could do it in one day. But also, if you have grocery wholesalers near you, that's where I would be focusing my efforts. So that's what I'm going to do after this is I'm going to go visit my grocery wholesaler and check out. The first thing I want to check out is the sugar-free candy. And then I'm going to keep going with the other candies and see what he has available. But so for me, I could probably get 1,000 units from that one source. But if you don't have a source like that, then it's not hard if you had a day and you lived in a metropolitan area to find 1,000 units of candy. So Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, good.
The phone's ringing.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. It always seems to ring at this time. I don't know. Probably CVS calling for my prescriptions.
Right.
So how many hours a week do you spend in a sourcing yourself, Jess?
Okay, so myself, I usually source 2 days and probably maybe total of 4 hours, right? But you have to remember that I'm well seasoned and I have shoppers that spend the bulk of my money.
Right.
So, but if it was before, so if it was February, because I didn't get all of my stuff outsourced until May, then I would probably source for like 16 hours a week, probably 4 hours, 4 days a week, and then I outsourced the bulk of that.
But you already know where you're going ahead of time. You're not just walking in cold.
Right.
Right.
And that makes a big difference because when you're new, that's going to be the bulk. When you're learning, is going to be the bulk of the scanning part, and then over time you get better and better and better. Yeah.
Right. Now I had an issue where I sent in my grocery items, and I took your advice. And I think it was my first grocery order I sent in like 2 weeks ago, and I kept getting an email that said my item was deactivated, like a pricing error. Have you ever heard of that?
Yes. So when you're in your Seller Central dashboard, this is for Amazon, you're going to navigate to the, it's up in the left-hand corner, and it says pricing, and it says fixed price alerts. So this is what's happening. Amazon has a specific price that they are targeting at any given moment. It does change, right? Whatever the buy box price is. And they're going to kick you out of inactive if your price is too high or too low. And they're like, but that's not competitive. Like, come on, we need you to be at this price. You might not like it because the price might go way down, right? If it's a saturated product. But that's what they're saying. They're saying, hey, we've identified this pricing on this product or products, and it just doesn't agree with what we think it should be. So if it's too high or too low, so you need to do a little research as far as bringing up that ASIN, looking at Keepa and seeing what the current price is, looking at the Amazon.com website and seeing what the current price is, and trying to keep it in the buy box range. And if you're using a repricer, that helps mitigate the repricing, those fixed price alerts. So for me, I would definitely advise you to set up a repricer, even the Amazon repricer.
Amazon repricer, is there a fee for that, or?
No, that's free.
Oh, okay.
And that's under automate pricing. And they show you, I mean, it's not that hard. I do have a video on it. It's not like the best video is like when I was a young YouTuber. Like I was just doing it for my group
Right.
on how to set up, a pricing rule for your price automated pricing in Amazon. And you can I always target the buy box, but it would be dependent. You might have lots of RA items. You might have some wholesale SKUs. You might have some private label. They're going to have different pricing rules. Okay. But for the most part, if you're doing RA and OA, you'll have like meet the buy box.
Yeah, it was the first time that, I was surprised because I was only like 28 cents away from the price up and down, and it kept getting kicked out. So I'm hoping that
right.
You helped me before we started the show fix that issue. And I'm hoping, because I only sent in 12 of that product, but still it's money that's tied up.
For sure.
And if it's inactive, I can't sell it. Right. I've been having better, and maybe it's a bad word, luck with the stuff that I'm sending in lately. Selling that stuff is turning over. What for you? What is a general rule of how long you want to keep the certain SKUs in? I have books, to be honest, I sent there 5 months ago, and they're still sitting there. And my concern sometimes is, man, am I killing myself with storage fees? That's one thing I got to get a better grasp of, understanding the storage fees, because I got to get to a point. Do I recall the item? Like I just recalled some scissors that weren't selling. I had bought at Staples that were clearance, and it got to a point where, they weren't selling, and I didn't have a whole lot of money into them. And for the 50 cents they charged to send them back, I just recalled them.
Okay, so these are the steps that I would tell you to take. First is to set up a repricer to be
Okay.
competitively priced. The second would be to optimize that listing. So you look at the listing, and if it only has one picture, can you add, between 6 and 8 photos is what Amazon really wants. And then does the listing have bullet points, and does the listing have a good description? And then there's another layer to optimization, and that is the back end keywords. So if you go to your book and you are in your inventory and you click edit, and then you go to keywords, the little keywords tab, and it says search terms. You can add keywords there, and that's in your back end, so you don't have to edit the front end of the product. And so that you just don't use brand names, right? But if it's a book about science or whatever, you can, maybe it's a butterfly book. Let's just be, because I'm an entomologist. You would generate keywords around butterfly research book, butterfly research literature, or something like that. Where more people are going to be when they're searching for butterfly research book or butterfly books on butterflies, then they'll see your book more often because you put those back end keywords into the listing. So that is what I've been doing for the past couple of months. I actually use the software because I have over 2,500 listings. But if you have just a few listings, I would just say, hey, I'm gonna optimize 5 listings a day and just put it on your task list and go and learn how to optimize. You can do it with just time. You don't have to pay for a software. And then you would use something like Merchant Words or something to help you generate keywords, keyword generator. That if you're not an SEO expert, right? I'm not an SEO expert, so I need some kind of software. And so you do those 3 things. You do the repricing, you do the listing optimization and back-end keywords. And then the other things you can do that are more cheap, right? Would be you could pin your listing to a Pinterest board. Maybe if it was a book on butterflies, you would pin it to a board that's all about butterflies. You pin some things about butterflies from other people, you pin your book, and then that kind of gets it more visibility. You put a really good description about your butterfly book in the Pinterest pin. Pinterest is kind of like a silent, not a lot of people use it, but we don't talk about it, right? But it is a great platform and it's free. You just go in and pin things, to an appropriate board, and you get followers and stuff like that. I was very astonished. I have 3,000 followers. I had no idea on Pinterest until I opened it up. But so those are kind of some things that you can do to try to get it moving. So I really like to have a 90-day turn, less than 100 right now. It is a little bit high. It's 120 days. Obviously, the sooner the sell, the better. But if you're going to have a diverse catalog with some slow movers and then some fast movers, I would definitely inch towards getting more fast movers so you don't have those storage fees.
Right. And I guess that's understanding the sales rank. Hey, I want to say hello to a couple people.
Sure.
I see Scott came in, the bearded picker. He butterfly pads, because he sells a lot of different products for RA, and he was noting the keywords there for an item he sells. So hey, if you guys say a prayer for his wife, Joni's going in for surgery today, a follow-up to her breast cancer treatment. So keep her, Joni, Scott's wife, in your prayers. But real quick, I want to go through. Adam, thank you for stopping in. George is here. Thank you. Kimmy, thank you. Adrian Scott, he's actually a new subscriber. I see him in Donatella's room, so thank you for stopping in. Joy, Chris the Goose is here. Lisa, Perla Precious. Lisa actually lives pretty close to me, so it's kind of nice to see some people. Adam, thank you. Feline Kisses, thank you. And that's pretty much it. But
awesome. I know, it's funny. People are funny. Cool. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Such a great morning. Well,
Scott's been traveling a lot. He's probably been up to our area, I think, 3 times in the last month, scouting for things. There's a bunch of places that are closing up. Didn't he just? It was Fred's or something like that. Discount that they just announced that they were closing up. I don't know how much you follow like when it's amazing when you get into this reseller community how much you start seeing things like this one's closing up, this one's having a sale. Like there was something posted today that there's 90% off at Target on certain things. There's 90% off on another. The only thing is I think personally, you got to be careful because you kind of get sucked into that 90% off, and then you're just still buying slow moving stuff.
Right.
Where I would rather spend the money on stuff that will turn,
Right. And that's why, in my mentoring and in my classes, I teach you it's okay to start in clearance, but move out of the clearance because the clearance is just like random things, and building a replenishable model will really help you for your whole future. So, the clearance aisle is fine, but everybody's in the clearance aisle. Move out of the clearance aisle. Find a niche or a couple niches that you really can make profit on. So I agree with that for sure.
Now, that was another one that Kimmy's pointing out. Walgreens has clearance starting.
Probably like the summer stuff. Yeah, I don't know. That's great. I'll be going there.
Yeah, it's always tough though. For me, I struggle is what to buy because last year I did go to Walgreens and I was buying some of the toys that were left over from Christmas, and I'm still probably sitting on 60-70% of them. But it's weird. Last week I sold 2 Funko Pops that were Walgreens exclusives, and they sold in the same day to 2 different people.
You got the buy box.
No. It was on eBay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, I don't know what was going on that, all of a sudden you're sitting with the stuff and then all of a sudden they're selling.
Well, I think the first one might have triggered the other one to go up in their algorithm. Right. So that's why when we say post frequently, post often, it's because it bumps up. I don't know why, but it bumps up your storefront. So it doesn't matter which platform, right? If we're talking Amazon, eBay, Mercari, Poshmark, the more you post on a frequent basis, the more your store gets seen. And so that helps anything in your store get seen. But for sure, that Funko, it probably triggered eBay to be like, oh, cool, we should, bump him up in the algorithm, this account in the algorithm. And then you just had 2 sell, which was awesome, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was obviously anytime you're moving inventory and stuff, creating cash flow. Now this past week for eBay, I was actually slow. I don't know why, but yesterday I made out pretty. I went out pretty good. I went and bought a $5 storage unit. I had to drive an hour.
Did?
Yeah.
I've never done that. Tell me.
It was. I started doing it again. I was hanging out with Jeremy and George from What the Hells, and wanting to do YouTube content stuff and get items. The only problem is it's a lot of work. But like my son went through a box last night and pulled out these lithium batteries. Now they expire next year, but we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 packs of them.
Yeah.
And they sell for like $4 a piece. So I mean, $28 right there. We estimate so far what we've got. We probably got $300 worth of stuff out of that unit for $5.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
the only thing the only thing I'm scared of in like units like that is bed bugs, but I guess it's probably not a problem. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure it is a problem. You know what the problem we had was? I grabbed this box and I was like, oh, there must be. And I went to open it up and it was a food box, and it was a box of potatoes that was dated for 2017. So who knows? They could have been. So they were at least 2 years old. And I put it on the hood of the car. I said, I'm not driving with this in there.
Right.
So I asked the lady at the because you're not allowed to throw in their dumpsters there if I could.
Right.
And I asked her, I said, could I throw that box? I said, if not, I'm driving down the street. I'm throwing it in McDonald's because it's
yuck.
Yuck was the word. But they had 41 units at this auction. It took all day, and then I couldn't fit everything in the SUV, and I had to go back yesterday. But luckily, it was only an hour away, so I still had about $35 in gas into it. So I want to,
That's cool.
it's still, here we are, September 11th, and everybody, thank you for coming in. I made the backdrop last night in remembrance of 9/11. I live close to, New York City, and everything in the center of what happened and stuff. And I'll never forget, because it was the first year I was in business owning a Subway. So I've actually been up to the Freedom Tower, but in the future I want to do a video for people that not everybody,
Right.
I mean, I'm always amazed how many people said they've never been to New York City. And I mean, some people don't think it's that amazing. I do. It's a lot of people and it's hectic, but just the beautiful buildings and the glamour and the Hollywood, I guess, of it all. It's a beautiful city. Have you ever been to New York City?
Yes, I went in 2006.
Yeah.
I was doing some training for the biotech company that I worked for, and then I actually stayed, and my ex-husband flew out there. We actually got engaged at Lunella's. It's like an Italian restaurant. So yeah, I've been in. It was great, but I just like to visit because it is very, very, very busy. And I'm from a gravel road, so yeah, this small town girl. It's good to visit New York for sure, and I'm very glad that I got to go. But I don't think I could ever. One of my girlfriends lived there. Two of my girlfriends lived there for several years after they graduated, and I was like, I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah, I've been there at least 10 times, probably between 10 and 15 times. I mean, to the point sometimes where I've taken the bus up there. What's nice about the bus is you can go up there. They have like buses that go every hour. So if you miss the bus to come back at 2:00, you can come back at 4:00, 5:00 into Scranton, Pennsylvania. So who cares if you miss the bus, because your ticket's not tied to an exact time. It's a round trip thing. So, and
that's what we did. We stayed in New Brunswick. We stayed in New Jersey because it was way cheaper, and it was just a 40-minute bus ride, and it was like $7. So we like go early, and then we took the last bus back, and it was fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I'm sorry to get off subject. Selling.
It's fine.
When they're talking about Walgreens in the side and going there. When you're scanning these things, I use my phone, the Amazon Seller app. Yep. What would you recommend? I mean, there's got to be some things. Is it worth even touching, because it's just not going to move?
Well, okay. So what I can tell you is what my methodology would be if I was going today. How about that? Because like for sure, every business model is going to vary, and even summer stuff sells in the winter, right? Because people take vacations. So for me, if I was going to Walgreens today, which I might, and I can sell topicals, the first thing I will be scanning is sunscreen and making sure that those expiration dates are far out, because that's still going to sell, and it's actually going to be selling more online because the in-stores are going to be, it's going to be sparse, right? And then the second on that would be that I would be scanning the hazmat sunscreen, because I have hazardous storage, like I have hazmat storage in the FBA warehouse for my account. So, and not everybody has that. So when you're thinking about that, you're like, okay, I have a CSID account, or I got hazmat approval. Now let's maximize that, because not everybody's doing hazmat.
Yeah, because you have a competitiveness over people that can't do it.
Right.
So there's going to be less. Right.
Correct. And then I would still be scanning all the floaty device. I'm assuming that it's probably, the the summer stuff that's going to be on sale. So I'm still going to be scanning all of the summer stuff, because people are still going to be going on vacations and buying like those, flamingos and pizzas and all those different flotation devices, but especially the smaller kids ones, like, with the wings and then like the swimmer thingy, because those always will sell. And then for sure I would be scanning the swim diapers, because they sell all year long, and they will sell for a really decent profit. So that's not just Walmart or Walgreens. It's Walmart, it's Target, it's anywhere that has those. So there's your be on the lookout. So I don't know that there's anything that I would stay away from, but I just know that I would make my buying decisions on velocity and obviously profit, but also looking at the keeper graph, because everything in Q4 is an inflated price. So you buy some little swim diapers for $4, you could sell them for like 18 or 20, which is a ridiculous amount, but it's true because no one else is carrying them. So that's kind of what my strategy would be for sure if I was going to Walgreens today.
Okay. I saw at Target not too long ago. It's funny that you were talking about that because they had those donuts and those unicorns
Yeah.
For sale. I always just get nervous that picking items anymore that I'm not the only one, and if they have 2,000 targets, and all of a sudden you're getting, even if you get 20, Amazon FBA, and they're each setting it now all of a sudden you flood it with 400 into the inventory. You know what I mean? And that's where I gotta get better as far as figuring that out. What to
Right, and that's where the keep a graph comes into play. So I love unicorns too, Kenny. So what I would do is I would do the UPC code search and then the title search, because you might find a hidden listing with less competition if you're doing a title search for that unicorn flotation device. So I want to find the hidden listing that has less sellers, right? That way I can have less competition. And so that hidden listing might be the hot dog inflatable and the pizza inflatable put together. So that's a bundle. And then I can hop on that bundle and, it's still selling pretty good, but there's only a couple of us on that bundle. So those are like some strategy. And that would be a definite strategy when you're looking at like Halloween candy, is looking not just at the UPC code, but for those hidden listings, doing a title search. Just make sure that you're putting in, if it says white chocolate Reese's peanut butter cups, and then you put the ounces in, because you don't want to accidentally send a wrong ounce product. That happened to me, and that's why I'm telling you, to the warehouse. You don't want to sell the wrong size. So just be mindful of that. And then when you're thinking about, candy, sometimes they'll have the same UPC as last year. So if you scan the UPC, you think that it's the right product, but then you look at the ounces, and last year it was 7 ounce and this year was 5.4 ounce. So you got to make sure that you either edit the listing, or, you would edit the listing because it was under the UPC code. So those are like some top tips for, like, if you're going to be, how are you doing a title search and finding hidden listings. That's kind of how I do it.
Now, what percentage of your sales is going to be Amazon and eBay going into the fourth quarter? Or, do you have a certain plan?
Yeah. So I think you guys know that I'm an Amazon FBAer. So that's 95% of my business model. So a lot of the, my returns, my overstock, my bad buys, those are going on eBay and Mercari. I don't do a lot on Poshmark. I do have Poshmark. I have sold on Poshmark, but it's just not a big part of my business. So eBay and Mercari is where I'm going to be listing. So I would say about 5% of my business is going to be off of Amazon.
Hey, Alan, Florida Picker. I got a little bit of it. I'll be honest. They changed it in the background that you could see the comments too, but I'm noticing that I could see the comments on YouTube quicker than I could see them in the background. So that's why there's the delay is reversed today. Usually what happens is we see the comments in the back and then you see them on YouTube. Now who handles when you get your returns? Because you talked about what you sent $30-some thousand in just last month.
No, I sent in way more, Pat. Come on, let's be real. I sent in the cost. The cost was 32.
Okay.
The retail was 89. Like, come on. Okay. So returns. Let's talk about returns. So I get my returns auto sent back to me. They come back. I like to block my schedule. We talked about schedules yesterday in the group. So I'll block off a day or two in my month where I will open up all the boxes, all the envelopes, right? And I sort it. So if it has the LPN sticker, I know that was a return, because I might take some stuff back, like removal orders, right? So
Jess, can you LPN? I never heard that terminology.
So I don't know what LPN stands for, but it's the sticker that gets put on your product when it's been returned to Amazon. So if it doesn't have that LPN, I know it was just something that I took from so I have two piles, right? I have my returns pile and then I have my removal order pile. Like if
Oh,
I do a removal order of like
okay.
slow movers.
All right. That's the difference. Okay.
Right. So then I'll open it up. Like usually it's bras, right? I open it up and then I check it, right? Does it still have the tag on? Does it look like it's been worn? Does it have deodorant on it? Like all those things, inspection. And then it goes into two piles. It goes into go back on Amazon if it's perfect, or if it's not perfect, then it'll go to eBay or my consignor. So those are the two piles. And then I take that pile that goes back to Amazon, I'll put it in a big Kohl's bag, and I'll send it back to my prep center, my prepper, and she will put it back on Amazon. And then I make a box or however much, inventory. And that is going to be my eBay and my consignor. And so then I message my consignor and I tell her what I have. I say, I have this and this and this. What do you think you can sell? She says I can sell this. And then everything else goes on eBay and Mercari.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh, so you have people that even do your listings on eBay and stuff.
No, I do my own listings. That's what I do my own listings for eBay and Mercari. Jordan does the prep to go back to Amazon, and then Nancy is my consignment. She's a local consignor, so we do a 50-50 commission or a 50-50 split of whatever she sells in her store.
Oh,
That's what, like, it's easier for me to give it to her than to post on eBay, but if she doesn't think she can sell it, then for sure I'm going to put it on eBay.
okay. So you're even moving then some stuff on a local level. I didn't know that at a store. So
yeah, she's just a Facebook reseller. That's her platform is Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I met someone like that the other day that they get stuff from storage units, and that's all they sell on is Facebook.
Yep.
And
Total.
yeah, that's it. So now is there certain categories? Everybody always defaults that toys are should be the ones the strongest going into. Is that the one that people should be?
Yeah, so toys, number one, grocery, number two, right? Because of meltables. So toys, right now, everybody is trying to get auto-approved in all the toy brands. And if you're not getting auto-approved, then you're getting ungated with, distributor or wholesale invoices for toys. So all year long, I'm looking for the next brand that I cannot sell, and I'm getting ungated in those brands so that I can sell them because, obviously the more brands you are allowed to sell, the more profit you can make. But yeah, for sure, toys is going to be my number one. That's when I do pretty much all my toy sales is in Q4. And then I just default back to my replens and my beauty because that's what I know. And obviously my Kohl's is a big part of my business. So I've already been sourcing toys for 2 weeks. So I know where my honey holes are. And I'm going to start, dabbling in them and making sure I'm cleaning them out for all the toy SKUs that I have experience with. And then I'm going to add the new toy SKUs, whether it's new Barbies or new Lego sets or whatever, that I can find that and make a profit. But for sure, toys.
Now, is there a certain date you want to send all that stuff in by as far as toys?
Yeah, so I like to send everything in. I like it to be moved by December 11th. That just happens to be my birthday. And then everything from September to 11th through the 21st of December, I'm going to be merchant fulfilling. And then the 21st through the 26th or 27th, I'm going to be off work. Right, I'm going to be done because that's like, I can't make it to my customer. I might maybe sell some stuff on Facebook or whatever, but then I'm going to be doing my own Christmas stuff, right? So I work really, 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 really hard in October, November, and December, and then I take like a week off, and then that last week I get back on the track. So we are preparing. So I bought 2 more thermal printers for me and my prep center. I bought my boxes in bulk so that I don't run out. I bought my tape, and I already had a ton of labels, so I was good on labels. So I'm just kind of thinking about that before October 1st. Like that's kind of my strategy.
George has a question
Yes.
for you. Do you offer international shipping on eBay and Amazon?
So I don't, but I have. So I think it's just I didn't know that I was offering it on Amazon, and then I actually got a complaint from someone, and it was in New Zealand or something. And I was like, oh boy, I refunded her. It just happened to be that the clasp on the bra was broken, right? It was no big deal. But I didn't actually know that I sent it there. But then so no, I don't intentionally send things all over the world, but I know a lot of people that do.
Yeah, I mean, on Amazon, that must get expensive because of the, or is that still covered underneath the Prime when they got to send it back?
Right. So I didn't have her return it, right? Because I wasn't going to have her because it was like a $10 bra, no big deal.
Right.
I just want her to be happy. But so I don't know because I don't sell merchant fulfilled anywhere. So I would assume if she actually had that bra expedited. So I don't know what she actually paid as far as like, did she have to pay more than what her Prime account was? I don't know, but I would assume that there was some kind
Yeah, I
of.
mean, I sell stuff I don't sell international on Amazon, but I sell international through the global shipping on eBay.
Right.
And it's expensive. I mean, somebody bought an item. It was a John Deere puzzle, and I was shocked. It was $14 that I sold it for. It cost them $34 with everything because of the shipping. You ship it to the global shipping center down there in Kentucky.
Right.
And the fee. Do you know? I always wondered with the eBay global shipping, and I'm not sure if you can answer this or not. Do they open that package up and inspect it when it gets there, or are they just slapping another label on it and sending it international?
I don't know, but what I do know is that when I did sell to Canada, you had the customs form, and they're allowed to open it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the process is like in that facility, but I always be prepared that they're going to open it because they want you to make sure that you're not sending something that you're not supposed to. So it needs to say exactly what it says. So I was selling makeup at the time to a Canadian friend, and it said makeup, one makeup brush, and then 2 eyeshadows, and then 1 mascara, whatever it was on the customs form. Nothing more, like no freebies or anything. Just exactly what, I mean, you can put the freebie on there, but just exactly what's on the customs form because they will kick it back to you or they will destroy it. So I don't know what the eBay place does, but I do know that's what they do for Canada.
Well, and the rules is on eBay, as long as you get it to the global shipping, we had this happen with some computer parts that my son sold to Italy, and the person said they never got it, and we saw it said it was out for pickup because they give you like an updated tracker.
Yeah.
But it's eBay said no. Once you get it to our global shipping, and it's on their end,
right.
Not for us. So.
Right, for sure. So yeah, that's what I do know.
Because I think what I think we sold something to Japan not too long ago, and we sent it in all bubble wrapped in a box to the global shipping, and then about a month later, someone requested a partial refund because there was a little chip that came, and I took pictures and made a video of how we sent it, and so I'm wondering when they get it to the global shipping, did they unbubble wrap that and then just kind of, because I went excessive with the bubble wrap to make sure it didn't get broken. And I wonder when they unwrapped it and redo it the way they do it at the global shipping. And that's what I would like to go to Kentucky and just find out the process of what they do as far as that, because do they have employees there that are wrapping and redoing it, or is it just a quick open the box and look, and then okay, just close the box and put a new label and ship it out? Because
I don't know.
Yeah, this item should not have gotten broke. Because I even did a video on my YouTube channel how shipping something to Japan. It was one of those like snow globes. And I excessively packaged it, so right. I always wonder what that is, but
yeah, I don't have a lot of experience with that. I mean, I would love to tour the facility for sure.
Yeah, have you ever gone to any of the Amazon warehouses yet?
Well, so that's a funny question because we do have one. Matt and I were taking a drive with Piper last week in the Jeep with the doors off, not her doors, but our doors. And we were up north of where I live, and there is an Amazon facility. And it kind of looked like they were having a sale. Like they had all these flyers and stuff. Like it was all pretty. And I was like, I wonder. So we drove up into the parking lot, and I talked to some of the employees. And I was like, hey, do you work here? Do you like working here? And he was like, yeah. And then the second guy was like, I was like, hey, do you guys do tours at this facility? He's like, yeah, you just have to call and make an appointment. So I'm like, so it's on my list because I want to bring as many St. Louis Amazon sellers with me. But, the list is long.
Yeah.
So I haven't been in it, but I know where it is.
I worked at an Amazon facility one summer.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's cool. Was it too crazy? I feel like it'd be crazy.
Yeah, there was no Amazon's not an easy company to work for, I'll be honest. There is I mean, the buildings are huge. You get a 15-minute break, and your break starts from when you leave until you get, and then you got to go through security to go in and out. Chris the Goose saying HOU2. He lives near Houston, I think.
Houston, it is? Yeah. Oh, that would be cool. See, I don't know. This is kind of a funny. So one of my bucket list items is to go to a lot of the Major League Baseball stadiums, and now obviously the NFL stadium because I'm a Saints fan. So now maybe I should make a goal around visiting a lot of the Amazon warehouse facilities. Wouldn't that be cool? But you're not allowed to take video. So.
No, you're not even allowed with the employees weren't allowed with cameras. Chris, when I worked there, it was robotic in the beginning. And when I say robotic, people who don't understand, meaning it's a little turntable that goes underneath the shelf and like corkscrews it up and then delivers that shelf to where your station is. But I know people that still work there in that facility, and those robots aren't there no more because they're not doing smaller items; they're doing bigger items. So that's probably why they don't have the robotics. I tell you, I don't even know if they do that. Everybody talked about earlier. I think it was back in July with eBay Open. Amazon doesn't do like an Amazon Open for people that do. It would be interesting because to learn and what their goal is to get to a certain percentage of small business people like yourself,
right?
And how. I mean, look, it's not good for them to have stuff sitting in there too. I wish there was a way to learn through them to say, hey, this is the type of stuff that we're looking for to send in because they want to turn the stuff too. I mean, they still do make money on even inventory that is slow, but obviously not as much because of the storage fees and stuff like that.
Right. So, I mean, just reading Keepa and making those informed decisions about the velocity of the product. That's the take home for that.
Now, are you saying Keepa? Can you type that in the chat?
Yeah.
And is that a website that you pay for?
Yes, it's pretty cheap. It's under $20. It used to be free, but obviously the amount of data so Keepa is a data-driven website that pulls data from Amazon all over the world. And each country has hundreds of millions of listings. So it's giving you a snapshot and saying, this is how this product has sold. So this is like if you're doing a research project, this is your source. This is your Google for ASINs, right? So that's how you make a better decision is you're learning to read the Keepa graph and what the various things on the Keepa graph mean as far as like the price, the number, the times the sell has dropped, the number of sellers, the length of time that the product has been on the Amazon platform, and then just the history behind it. Maybe it went really low price when it was so let's just say it was really low price during the summer because it was a seasonal item. Let's say it was like a light up snowman or something. Well, in July or June, people aren't going to be buying it, so the price is really low because people are trying to get rid of it. But then in December, you see that the price is $25 more. So then you can make your buying decision as far as what the Keepa graph says. So Keepa is very important for your Amazon learning.
Now, Jess, how long does stuff? Is there a point where stuff is in the warehouse too long and Amazon will automatically just kick it out? Or, I always hear about these Amazon returns, these pallets, and obviously none of my stuff has gone to that because for 50 cents, I tell them to send it back to me as long as it's not a damaged product.
So let me tell you what I know. So when I send in, last year I sent in too much of an item, right? And then it was really cheap. So let's just say I'm like, okay, well, I'd rather just have it disposal for 15 cents than have it sent back for 50 cents because I just don't want to deal with it, right? Maybe you went in too much on a wholesale SKU or something like that. So you can click disposal, like dispose 100 units or whatever. So they're going to do whatever they want with it. They might not really be disposing of it. They might be putting it on that Amazon returns pallet, right? Or Amazon whatever pallet, like that they're going to resell somewhere.
Those they put them in those Gaylords, and sometimes they even sell them.
Right, but if you don't remove something from the warehouse, then you're going to incur those long-term storage fees. That's what's going to happen. And you can either have it, recalled back to you or your warehouse, or you can have it disposed of. And then I do the auto send back for my returns. So that's two different things. Right. But basically, they're just going to keep charging you room and board, right, for your stuff because they're like.
Is there a way to figure that out in the Amazon Seller Central?
Figure out the storage fees.
I'll give you an example. Like I sent in boots like 3 months ago.
Yep.
They said that some of them are slow, but I don't want to recall them because I think coming into the winter, I have a better chance of selling those boots. But it shows that the storage fees could be $100 or something like that. So yeah, what I've learned, like I've scanned things now at the store, and sometimes if the item is too big and bulky, I don't even want to be bothered with it because you see that's sort of what's happening is you're paying for how much space you're taking up in the warehouse. Correct. So when they show that $100 as potential storage fees, what are they talking about? $100 for the year? $100 for 6 months?
Well, okay, so if you go into your Seller Central and all the way to the right, it says excess inventory and that little IPI score. Right. On the right, you scroll down a little bit and you click on excess. You click on excess units, and then you're going to hover over the. So you have the first one up there, whatever it is. Let's just say it's a book, and then you hover over the estimated storage cost. So you said it was $100. Then it'll tell you the estimated fees for next month are this. In year one, if you don't remove it, you're going to get charged this. In year two, if you don't remove it, it's going to be charged this. And in year three, it's going to be charged this. So then it's telling you, okay, well, maybe you should update, edit your listing, improve your keywords, advertise your listing, lower your price, or create a removal order on the right-hand side. So it's kind of telling you, hey, you should do a sale. You should improve your keywords. It kind of points you in the right direction. And then once you do all the things that Amazon is suggesting in those drop downs, and if it's still not selling, then you can either dispose or remove, right? Because you definitely don't want to be losing money on products because they're sitting in a warehouse. Right. And especially for clothing, because there's so many places that you could sell it. Like I'm gonna recall clothing because I don't want it to sit. I want it to be moving.
Now we're getting down to the last couple minutes. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on real quick before we go here today?
Man, that was fast. It went so fast. So I appreciate you having me on, and I appreciate the conversation about all the platforms, and I appreciate everybody that is coming on and joining us on this beautiful day. Say some prayers for the 9/11, and I don't have any more. That's it. I think we're good.
Yeah. Are you doing? I see your YouTube channel is growing, and I put it on there in the description below. You can subscribe to the Ladies of FBA channel. That's Jess Hill's YouTube. I've seen your channel is growing.
Yes.
You're getting out there more. So, and people don't even realize. I mean, you have a big following on your Facebook.
2,100 people.
Right. Following in that, and you're doing coaching and mentoring.
Classes. Yeah. Right.
So if anyone's got any questions afterwards, and I'm just a host. I'm learning. I do sell on eBay and Amazon. I'm the opposite of Jess. 95% of my stuff is sold on eBay. 5% is, but I do want to switch that because I like the lure of having the ability to once you ship it to Amazon, I really don't have to deal with it too much. And I'm learning to buy stuff that sells. I mean, I shipped stuff in a week ago, and I have already sold some of those items.
Good.
Okay,
Good.
now Florida Picker, it's not just women. I think that's for the ladies of FBA.
I don't know what he's referring to. I'm sorry.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there's obviously, we know men and women sell on Amazon and stuff, but the group, the ladies of FBA is just right.
Oh yes, so that is. But I have things coming down the pipeline that you'll hear about in a more co-ed stuff. So don't worry. I am noticing the following is co-ed. So, and I do have a lot of mentoring clients that are male. So it's not limited, but the group is limited. Like my services are not limited.
He says he follows you, so
Yes.
yeah, he's aware. He was just pointing that out. So
Yes.
I appreciate Jess doing this with me. This was our 5th episode.
Yes.
We're going to do these from time to time. I want to make sure that when we're doing them, we're providing information and sometimes we're retouching over things. We're trying not to get too technical where some people are like, oh my God, I'm lost in the first 10 minutes. This is something that we do. So stay tuned when we do more episodes. Now, tomorrow on my channel, I'll have Jason Deason. He is a thrift trader. He buys storage units with Kimberly, Borderline Hoarderish. I am hosting the next 2 weeks in a row. So tomorrow at 9 p.m. East Coast time, Jason will be on the channel. And actually next week, Locker Nuts will be on. And then Kimmy will host the following 2 weeks. And then it comes back to me. And but if anyone has any questions, don't be afraid to comment on afterwards, or if you're watching the replay. We do get a lot of people that watch the replay. Every day somebody is watching 1 or 2 views on these e-coms. So people are out there looking for ways to make money by selling on eBay and Amazon, and that's why we started doing this. I can learn some stuff for free from Jess and put the information out there and have some content on my YouTube channel and meet new friends. So I appreciate it. Thank you guys for joining us and on this special day, 9/11, and hope everyone has a great day. Bye.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.